Good morning, everyone. My name is Amzat Abiblaya Adewale. It's wonderful being here with you today. Now, welcome to Android at Java First tutorial. I'm a Java developer from CodeTrick Nigeria Enterprises. Now, what we'll be learning. In this tutorial, we shall be learning a vital tool we will be using in our journey of Java as a programming language and Android as a mobile operating system platform. Now, you can see this. Then that means you can guess right. We'll be learning about GitHub. And so let's move on. So what is the tool, to be precise? The tool we'll be learning today is called Version Control System, aka VCS. So what is VCS? These are systems that make it possible for you to version your projects into your local computer or into a central repository, which is commonly called the repo. So why do we use VCS? You can keep track of changes made to your project. Let's say, for example, you have a file of version 1.0. If you version control it after you have version controlled, you can go ahead and keep working on the same file again, version control it again, and call that new commit as version 1.1. Go ahead again, call the another edit, call it version 1.2, and go on like that. So it can make you to actually keep track of the changes that has gone in your project, even when after or you have shut down your system, to be precise. So let's look at the second point. You can revert back to a known good state. Now let's say, for example, I've versioned a particular file in my project to 1.2, and for one reason or the other, I actually need back my version 1.1. I can revert back the old project state in my working directory to version 1.1, and that is cool. That's more like pressing Ctrl Z after you have visited the program itself. Now, you can view the difference between versions. It's possible for me to view the difference between my version 2.0, which was committed, and my version 1.2, which was committed. I can actually view what have I added, what have I changed over time. Now, you want to see how long a bug has existed in your project. VCS offers you that. Probably you want to just scroll back to the beginning of time when you started writing that code into that file, and you want to actually know since when have you been getting it wrong. VCS made it possible. And one last thing, don't return to zero. Imagine you losing that file after hours, days, months of development. You just lose the file in your working directory. How do you go back to it? Will you start again? Guess this cartoon explains that. So now, work together. How do we work together using the VCS? There are three types of VCS. The local VCS will be looking at Git client as a case study. Central VCS will be looking at GitHub as a case study, and distributed VCS. I won't be talking about this. We are not using it. Now, local VCS. Now, Git client. Look at this image. There is a file, and there is a white box where you can version into. That white box is a version database. That's what Git client is. Now, there is a directory in which your project actually is. Of course, there will be a directory in your computer where the project you are working on, the file you are working on, resides. That file or that folder is called working directory. Now, a local repo is created for your project. Now, before you start versioning, you need to create a local repo for your project. Now, that local repo is seen as a versioning database. Where will the local repo be created? That is why we call it local. It will be created right inside your database, inside your local drive. Now, the next one is each file in the working directory has to be added first to a cached index before committed into the local repo. This is to say that you don't just commit from your working directory straight to your local repo. There is a place in between, which is always called cached index. So you commit to the cached index and then you add to the local repo. You can check out a particular version of a particular file earlier committed from your local repo. Of course, that is the main reason why we are versioning. You can easily check back your version 1 or version 2 or version 3 or version X from your local repo back into your working directory to see what's in there. Now, the repo created can only be accessed by you. This is very, very important. When you are using local VCS, Git client to be precise, the repo created is local, hence it can only be accessed by you and not by anyone else, not even your team lead, not even your teammates or anyone in the group. It is personal to you, except if your computer becomes another person's computer. Now, let's move on. Centralized version control. GitHub as a case study. Wow. Look at this image. It explains it all. There is a server repo, collaborator 1, collaborator 2, collaborator 3. Copied file moves into the server repo as a commit. You can get it back as an update. Copied file moved from collaborator 2 system to the main server as a commit. You can get it back as an update. Same thing to collaborator 3, and same thing goes on and on and on. Now, from computer A owned by collaborator 1, computer B owned by collaborator 2, a file can actually be committed into the central repo and be checked out from the central server. Same to collaborator 2 who uses computer B. Now it goes on and on like that. What's the idea? The mechanism is similar to local VCS. Now, the difference is that the repo is not limited to you. The repo access is not limited to you, rather, if set public, and it can just be for you if set private. The repo is not created on your local drive, but rather on a central or a main server. It is internet-based versioning, and you need to have an account first. You can create more than one repo, but basically, it's always a repo for a project. That is to say, I and anyone in the group can access your repo, clone a file, edit and fork it back to you so that you can merge it with your main project. When I say fork, I mean F-O-R-K. Take note of that. So now, hope it's wonderful. Next time we'll be talking about GitHub practical session. We'll actually keep the Git client aspect. Thank you. I remain myself, Amzat Abiblai. Have a wonderful time. And